Posse, Packer Nation. Welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Should I do this entire interview in a London accent? No. Grossi, and today, we are going to be previewing the Green Bay Packers' first trip over to jolly old London as they'll be taking on the New Jersey Giants. That's right. And to help me break it down, the one, the only, Lauren from SheGotSports.
Thanks, Tom. Here at the pitch at Tottenham.
Hey, Tom. How you doing, Tom?
About to watch the Packers and Giants.
I got my fish and
kick it off. I can't do accents well at all.
The entire interview. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate you coming on. I saw your face immediately when I said New Jersey Giants, and I was a little confused because you should know they're not from New York. They're
Well, this is my problem as someone who lives in New York.
Same.
And is a fan. Oh wait, I always forget that.
Yeah.
Like always know you don't live in Green Bay, but like I forget. New York. Crossing over to Jersey is a pain in the ass.
It smells terrible.
Have you ever accidentally gotten on the top deck of the George Washington where all the trucks are instead of the bottom and then watch all the cars zoom past you and then you have to sit there for like 40 minutes?
Yes.
Which is
why
it's really tough.
It's the New Jersey Giants. It's literally in the swamps of New Jersey.
It literally is.
The Meadowlands. It's in the, so they say meadow. It's not a meadow of like frolicking. You're in swamps.
I literally asked my dad last time we were there. I was like, why is it like this? Like, where's this water coming from? Like, what is this?
Don't ask. Just don't ask these kinds of questions. Yeah,
so the Giants need to just stop with trying to get lower taxes and move back to New York.
I mean, there's only one New York team, and that is the Buffalo Bills.
So you're saying it's okay if I bandwagon them? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But so listen, we got some history that's being made because, first of all, the Packers, they are the last team of the 32 teams to head over to London because they'd never traveled abroad for a game before. That's one. And then two, the first time in NFL history that we're actually going to have two teams with winning records heading in to a London game, which I got to ask you right off the bat, did you expect going into week 5 that the New Jersey Giants were going to have a winning record?
No, I absolutely did not. And I'm just enjoying the ride while it lasts, just can't ask for much more right now. Hasn't been pretty, but you don't get style points, baby,
That's it. Listen, Saquon Barkley be the whole team. He could be the QB. He could be the running back.
Yeah, literally.
It don't matter. It doesn't matter at all. But I feel like before we get there, let's back up a tiny bit. You kind of went through a pretty significant offseason, right? In which finally, like kind of the changing of the guard, you bring in guys like Brian Dable. On top of that, you guys had an awesome draft, especially like looking at like the first round, even though it would have been difficult to mess it up. But as a Giants fan, you kind of have to be like, okay, we're not going to, right? Kind of walk me through your feelings of like this offseason, finally getting rid of some of the people that needed to go and, drafting pretty darn well.
Yeah, I mean, I was pumped. Before the draft, I was saying like my dream scenario is Kayvon and Evan Neal. I thought Evan Neal was going to get drafted first. He didn't, which made sense because there was no tackles off the board yet. So, you knew, okay, you draft Kayvon, you're going to get either Icky or Evan Neal. Worked out with Evan Neal. Dream scenario complete. Loved it. It was ecstatic. That was like the first draft where I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
In regards to people that have to go, yeah, sorry to say, Joe Judge, you had to go. Like, not to call for another man's job, but a man's job, but it was bad. And then there was rumors that he was possibly going to want to hire someone within the Giants organization as GM so like he could stay on. Like there was like some rumors and reports about some crazy stuff and it was like, oh my God, Joe Judge is just gonna like hostile take over the Giants. Like this is my worst nightmare. This was after the season ended too. But then everything went as planned. People lost their jobs, which is never good, but it needed to happen. When you don't perform at your job, you need to move on. And I love the way things are going. I love the direction. I feel like there's direction. I've said that in the past, but I mean it this time.
Yeah. You're just like, it seems like there's actually some progress that's being made. And for a lot of fans looking at this season, this was a make or break it year for some significant players, right? We talked about Saquon Barkley, who is making the most of that right now. And then we'll talk about him in a minute. But the other one, of course, is going to be Daniel Jones, in which
Dan Jones.
There he is. There's Danny. He's been kind of given, this reign, and he's had some flashes, in which he's performed well. If you're trying to give him some credit, I mean, listen, the offensive line that he's been behind for all these years has not been great. There has been a lack of weapons on the Giants. Where are you at with Daniel Jones, like heading into this season? And then after 4 weeks, where are you with him now?
So heading into the season, and for the majority of my Daniel Jones experience after post rookie year, I've been like, I don't think this is the guy, like I hate to say it. I don't think he's the guy. I hate to say it. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong, but I don't think he's the guy. He doesn't look comfortable back. There's too many mental mistakes. There's too many, like, how could you possibly do that? Mistakes. So far this season, it's looked better, right? It's looked better, but it hasn't been that much better yet.
Sure.
And I think for a new head coach and a new GM who have no ties to him to keep him, he has to be like 5,000 yards, like, an insane, like an Aaron Rodgers type touchdown to interception ratio.
Sure.
So I'm okay with it right now. Like, he seems like a great guy, seems like a super nice guy. Sure. He's a grinder for sure, but I don't really see him as the future unless something changes drastically this season. Well, I'd love to be wrong again, but too many problems.
Well, I think that was right because, all right, coming into like contract year, like we're going to decide, if you're going to be the guy going forward, and you brought in, like you mentioned, a guy like Brian Dable, the GM, they have no contact with him. They have no ties with him whatsoever. So it's like, hey, either you go out there and perform and do amazing, or like we move on. And was kind of the consensus, okay, heading into the season for expectations, we'll be okay, probably won't be like amazing, but we'll be in position to potentially draft a franchise QB next year. Was that kind of like the thought process?
Yeah, definitely. And now you're looking at it now. Not that I think the Giants are going to win a ton of games this year, but you're like, oh, CJ Stroud's probably like going to go like number 1 overall.
Sure.
And that's the guy I have wanted since last year on the Giants. So you're kind of like, oh, watch the Giants win just enough games to miss out on the best quarterback in the draft, and then deal with that and have another Daniel Jones situation. But no, I trust this front office more than I trust Gettleman. I don't think they would pull a crazy reach at quarterback. I don't know if a trade would happen in the offseason for someone else. I don't really know who would be traded. Like, it doesn't seem like anyone's really going to be available. Maybe Jimmy, if Jimmy plays well, who knows? But still, I feel like they're going to try to go draft their guy.
I would imagine so. Like, it's someone that they believe in, because I mean, like, this team is still dealing with the ramifications of David Gettleman.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like, there's like contracts that were made, there were picks that were made, there were deals that were made that you're like, okay, we're gonna be feeling this one for like a hot while. And I feel like with some of the guys,
he actually wasn't fired. He retired. Sorry, I meant to. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I just want to the mess that the Giants are in now. The Giants, they actually just put out a release that he retired. It was just a retirement, thanks for all your work. Happy retirement, Dave. No.
He definitely was not fired. Definitely not.
No.
Nope, definitely not. 100%. Excuse me. When Dave Gettleman retired after his many years of service for the Giants, very hard fought and thankful years, you look at some guys that are on the roster now, like a Kenny Golladay, for example, which is not going great. It's not. It's not
70 mil.
Well, what like pieces do you see? Like, do you see like this kind of year as a whole as like kind of like a transitional year where it's like, hey, maybe if Saquon blows up like he is, we sign him to another deal, right? Because He's gotten hurt so many times in the past. The offensive line's been bad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He never really got back to like that rookie year where he was so good. I mean, at this point, like, what are your expectations of the Giants? Like, I'm not saying are you advocating for tanking, but is there kind of like okay, like this is cool. We're winning a lot of these close games. It's really cool. But you also have, like you said, that lingering thought of, oh God, but we still need a quarterback at the end of all of this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right now I'm just trying to enjoy the wins because I know the schedule gets tougher, like Packers, then Ravens, and then Jacksonville, I think. And obviously they have to play the Eagles twice. And they got to play the Cowboys again. So the schedule is definitely going to get tougher. And there's no team really without there's no 0-4 team. I mean, the Texans don't have a win, but there's no like crazy bad team so far. There probably will be soon, but like there's no one crazy bad yet. So I think you always want to win and try to like establish the culture, as they say, like that buzzword, establish the culture, good culture.
Just like in Washington, great culture.
Yeah, really good. A+. Dan Snyder, when his time is done there, he's gonna get a Dave Gettleman retire too. That's what it's the same.
You might
same
have to
vibes.
pry that team from his cold dead hands.
Same vibes there. It's a retirement after some great moves, great stuff.
Great.
I hope everyone heard the sarcasm. I was like, watch this just get clipped and it's just like me praising Dan Snyder.
Dan Snyder, what an owner, man! Like, just like cream of the crop out here.
But I think you just have to go take every game as it comes, and you see what you have in the roster you have, and then at the end of the season, you deal with the quarterback situation. Yeah. I feel like you can't think too far ahead now. Obviously, they're going to all these games. I know Joe Shane's been at a lot of these games with the top prospects at quarterback, going there watching. So he's obviously scouting, but I think they're gonna have to see what the record is at the end of the year. No tanking.
That's right. Yeah.
No tanking.
Well, I mean, because so for example, we're just talking about Daniel Jones, but for Saquon Barkley, for example, he had like the guy can play football, right? I don't know if people know. He can play football really, really well.
He's decent at it, definitely.
He's pretty good. He's pretty solid. This year, he's kind of returned back to form and has been phenomenal. He's a leading rusher in the NFL right now. You know, for these 4 games, he's the reason that you're winning a lot of these games.
Most definitely.
So at the end of this year, if that continues, kind of where are you? Because I know that this is kind of a debate between some Giants fans. Where are you about giving him a long-term contract? Because of course there's the stigma of you don't, give running backs major deals. On top of that, he does have injury history. Are you kind of saying, hey, if he puts together this amazing season, you're kind of forced to pay him, or are you starting from scratch at QB and running back potentially next year?
This definitely has been, I've seen this already debated on Twitter. What are you doing about Saquon? I mean, there was a Saquon to the Bills trade, like mock trade discussion last week or something. I think if you're the Giants, they will probably end up paying him. But I think the thing is this, he's not going to get like a major contract, and I don't think it's going to be super long term. I just think at this point, if no one's giving running backs the bag like that, then where's the leverage? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Where is he going to get that money then?
It's some random team that has a ton of cap space that's like not really that good, and it's like, here you go, here's your retirement fund. Saquon. Like that's essentially what it is, right? Like it's Jacksonville doesn't need him, but it's like one of those random teams that doesn't have like a key prospect there at running back, and it's like, hey, we'll give all this money to Saquon and see if he can make something happen.
Yeah, you just think about all the guys who have been paid so much, like Todd Gurley. Sure. Like, whoa, what happened there?
Christian McCaffrey. I mean, can't stay on the field. I mean, Derrick Henry, good, but he got hurt, unfortunately, last year, and it's just one of the most bruising positions in football. And so there's a lot of injury risk.
They've been handing the ball to Saquon so much. I thought they were going to use him more as a little bit more creatively, as a pass catcher and stuff, just to try to alleviate some of that, consistently getting hit, which happens when you're a running back. You're either running into the end zone out of bounds or getting tackled. But they have to run the ball still, though. It's like, yeah, you want to use him creatively, but you have to still like establish the run game. It's that weird spot where you're like, all right, yeah, you can use him creatively, but you still have to be able to establish the north and south running game. So I'm going to be interested to see what they do. I feel like if he continues on this pace, though, it's going to be hard for them not to sign him. I think they should have a good amount. I think they're going to have a really good amount of cap space next year, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they should. Sure. I mean, and they'll help. I mean, in terms of kind of looking at the outlook of the Giants, looking into this game, for example, like the Packers have struggled with some running backs this year. So David Montgomery ran all over them. Last week with the Patriots, had a dual threat running all over them. And now it's Saquon. And it's funny because like there was a chart that was trending on Twitter that was like most explosive teams right now, like most explosive plays. And the Giants are on there because they have like 15 or something, like 10+ yard runs. And then passing, it's like super small. And it's like, hey, I think I know what the Giants' game plan is. It's going to be handing the ball off to Saquon. So
especially if Daniel Jones is still a little beat up, a little hobbled on that ankle.
Just a little bit. So like for you, kind of like looking at this game against the Packers, which is kind of like a real test, right? And saying like we're going up against a good team. Where do you see maybe the strengths of the Giants that they might be able to take advantage of it and potentially pull out a W?
Well, yeah, definitely. I was talking about this with my dad this morning. Definitely run. Just feed Saquon in this game. Feed Saquon. We saw like the big difference last week when they actually gave him first half carries. I don't know. Earlier this season, they weren't giving him a ton of first half carries. He was just getting a ton of second half carries. But if they feed him early and often, it sounds weird. If they feed him early and often, I think they should be able to just stealing the feed Zeke line. If they feed him early and often, they should be able to establish the run game, choose some time off the clock, which is what they want to do. They want to keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. And I think that's got to be their game plan going forward. Apparently, it seems like Daniel Jones is going to play now and not third string Davis Webb, which is always good. But
hey, third stringers were real good against.
That's what I was going to say, though. Who knows? Third stringers have had some nice success recently against the Packers. But I don't even think Daniel Jones is going to be super mobile in this game. I don't know. Even if he does play, I don't know how good his ankle is going to be. Who knows? If they didn't even let him throw a pass last week when he had to come back in, how good is it going to be? I know he practiced today. He looked pretty decent. Who knows? I don't know. He seems like he has a high level of pain tolerance.
Yeah, I mean, he's also been behind that offensive line. You got to have a little bit of a higher pain tolerance for that. Taking a look at your division, the Eagles are the only undefeated team in football right now. The Cowboys are winning with Cooper Rush, and the Commanders are the Commanders. The NFC East right now is like boasting like the best team, let me rephrase, the best records in football. Do you think the NFC East is also the top division in football right now? Or do you think that maybe some of those records are a little inflated? It's
tough because I'm just laughing that we're having this conversation about the NFC East now after all these years of like NFC least.
Yep, least. Now they're NFC beast.
I think it's going to be hard to judge until we get to around the midway point of the season. I still feel like the Chiefs are kind of really carrying the AFC West. Broncos, they're tearing them down a little. Like I think with the preseason hype for that division, Broncos are definitely bringing down the preseason hype. Raiders are bringing down their like potential whatever. I think the NFC East definitely top 3 right now. I think NFC West could be sneaky interesting. I don't know if they're the best, but everyone's 2-2. That could be sneaky interesting later on. And the North, the NFC North, like the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings.
I'm glad you mentioned the Vikings. Don't mention the Bears. You don't have to mention the Bears.
Don't mention the Vikings.
You saw Justin Fields last week. You don't have to mention the Bears. In terms of going forward, right? Do you think for this season, like for predictions, do you think that they are a potential playoff team, meaning the Giants? Do they have that potential to make it? Or do you think like, hey, we'll see what this team's identity really is?
Whoa, we're getting a little crazy here, Tom.
Getting wild.
Wow. Whoa. No, I don't think they're a playoff team. Just try and be as unbiased as possible and keep my expectations on the floor as much as I can.
Okay.
Because for the past few years have been like, oh, they could definitely make the playoffs. They have a chance. No, I'm not going to let myself think that at all now. So if they end up somehow miraculously making the playoffs, I'd be even more ecstatic. I have no expectation of it. I think I was gonna look at the wild card standings the other day, but I was like, don't. It's week
Giants
4.
are in it.
Don't do
They're
it.
in
Don't
it.
look at the wild card standing. It's week
They're
4.
above
Why
the
would you do that
Packers.
to yourself? Why would you do that to
It's week
yourself? Why would
5.
you look
It's
at it
week
in week
5.
4? Why would you want to get that image in your head? So that's why I didn't look at it, because I didn't want that image seared in my head. Week 17.
Makes sense.
But I don't know. The schedule gets harder. I'm a little nervous, and I think they'll be around a 7 to 8 win team.
Okay.
They have 3 right now. They win. Oh, I mean, whoa! They already have 3 wins, dude. Whoa, doing the math.
Like you're
I've never been in this situation before. The last time the Giants started 3-1 was 2011. I didn't really watch football the way I did then. I was in 7th grade. Like I wasn't like into it like this. Like I've never been in this situation with the Giants. Like 3-1. It's like, wow, we're like so ahead of the 8 ball here. I know it's gonna come crashing down. Like they could easily lose the next 3 games and be 3-4.
Can I ask what part of the team
paranoia
is going to like crash down? Like, do you think it's going to come down to like Daniel Jones of the offense? Do you think it's the defense? Like, what part is like what's keeping them, in your opinion, from being a 10-11 win football team?
I think the reason they have these wins right now is because of the coaching. Like, week 1 wasn't necessarily a good performance, right? Like they didn't necessarily play well offensively, but the coaching kept them in it. Defense, it's had its good moments and it's had its bad moments with Wink's scheme, with the, just blitz. It can come back to bite you in the butt, in the booty. In the booty. So the specific thing that I could see crashing down, oh my God. Like, after watching Daniel Jones all these years, like I can't not say, oh my God, it's definitely not going to be Daniel Jones. It could so possibly be him. Like the bad fumbles could start again. The bad interceptions could start again. That could easily happen. It could possibly be the defense. I mean, the secondary has so many injuries. That's the other thing. Injuries. No one's healthy. Like, I mean, I know that's the deal with everyone's team, but like when no one's healthy, that can really derail your season. Like,
we'll bet.
They have the cornerback depth in this game is going to be tough for the Giants. Aaron Robinson, their CB2, is on IR. Flott, who they drafted this year, is going to be on. He wasn't practicing today, I don't think. Corner situation is going to be a little dicey. And also the wide receiver situation right now. No one's healthy. And Kenny Golladay is not going to play.
Yep, not going to play. Kadarius Toney, you hate him. And not you personally, just your franchise hates him.
Now apparently he's injured or something. I don't know if he practiced today. I should have looked that up. I have a feeling he's not going to play. Yeah, maybe they'll put him in for one play and he'll make a catch and they'll pull him out, how it goes.
That's enough for you, Kadarius Toney. No more. That's too much. So looking ahead to this game, who do you think takes it?
Okay, so I actually already said this. I don't know why I'm being so dramatic about this.
You're just like, whoa, it's $1 million question here.
Acting like I'm on freaking Jeopardy in the final round. Sure. Aaron Rodgers. That's actually something I really enjoy right now, is playing Jeopardy on the Alexa. Just wanted to put that out there in case anyone was wondering.
Really, shout out all the Alexas out there.
I just want to shout out all the Alexa Jeopardy enthusiasts, as I play with my parents at like every evening. It's the highlight of my day at 23 years old. Coming home and playing some Alexa Jeopardy. Like, that's what I'm about.
Hey, whatever it takes.
And so sorry. See, this is what I do. I derail the conversation.
It's all good. There's no
my ADHD. The game, my predictions. Okay, so I said the Packers will win straight up, but I think the Giants will cover the 8-point spread.
Okay. All right.
I think that's valid.
That's valid. I think it can be I think it could be a close game. I'm a little afraid of your pass rush, like a tiny bit, because our offensive line has struggled a little bit. So I'm curious how that, and then of course
they haven't been crazy good. Like they've been decent.
They looked good last week. They destroyed Justin Fields.
It's like, but also that's the Bears O-line.
I know, yeah.
But like, I know Kayvon's coming back from injury, so he hasn't done a ton yet. And now Azeez didn't practice today, who's the other edge rusher. So, we might be without one of our starting edge rushers again.
We.
I said the
Yep.
sin word. We.
No one cares. It's fine. Oh, who cares? You're invested, Lauren. That's all it means.
We.
That's all it means. Well, Lauren, I appreciate you. I think it'll be a fun game. We got right here on the East Coast. You get to wake up bright and early to watch
That's
it.
what's great about it being on the East Coast for this.
Let's go. I'm fine with that. Yeah, just start streaming at 9 a.m.
9:30 is better than 6:30.
That's accurate. That's 100% accurate. But I know you'll be streaming on Sunday. We'll rock. We'll roll.
Oh yeah, I actually might do pre-recorded reaction this Saturday. I've been kind of switching up a little.
Okay.
Seeing what the folks like.
All right.
I'll stream Sunday night. I'm gonna stream Sunday Night Football though, because that's gonna be a good one.
Definitely. Yeah, Sunday night should be really fun. But speaking of the content that you do, tell the people where they can find you and all of the things that you do.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
Everything.
every social media, even my OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Every single one.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
MySpace
See, I get too many OnlyFans comments, so I tried to just lean into it and make a joke about it, but now I think I probably just made it worse. The questions are gonna come in more. No, not on there. In case anyone was wondering. That was a joke. So I'm on YouTube, obviously. SheGotSports. That's my name on there. Oh, I also have a hockey channel. If we're really going into everything here, I have a hockey channel too. She Got Hockey. I started during the Stanley Cup, so it's in the works. But hockey's coming back. I was supposed to go skating tonight, but I'm not because I'm tired. Real grinder right here. Then I'm on Instagram, SheGotSports. I'm on TikTok, SheGotSports. I'm on Twitter, SheGotSports. And my other Instagram is It's Lauren Russell.
I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you taking the time. We'll be seeing you real soon. I'm sure we'll be sending some raids your way.
Oh, thanks.
So
those are always so nice. From the Tommunism.
Of course.
And the gross, what does that person call it?
Oh, we got
someone else who streamed the gross poos.
The Grossi pussy.
The gross. I love all the different names people say.
Great, it's phenomenal. Yeah, I get Grossi a lot. Yeah.
Grossi, I could see that. That'd be 2 O's though. Right?
Yeah, that's what I say too. But people spelling. But folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi, and as always, go Pack Go.